Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be looking at crossing in particular, and I'm going to look at 4 different types of crosses that can happen in a game depending on what part of the final third your team is in. So we're going to focus particularly on the right hand side today just because it's closer to me. It'll be better for the viewers, and what I'm going to look to do is walk us through the types of movements a winger would make to receive the ball in order to get across into the box, and also some of the runs that will be made when the ball is coming in from strikers, opposite wingers and our midfielders too. So the first scenario we're going to look at is a cross from deep. So what I'm looking to do is again just start the attack from the number 6 all the time, and in this scenario again it'll be a 4-3-3 playing against a back 4 from the opposition, a holding midfield 2 and a number 10. The front 3 won't be overly relevant in this tactical view, but what's really important to notice is that again we're playing against a low block from the back 4 and the midfield 3, and obviously we'll assume that the goalkeeper is good at dealing with crosses as well. How we'll set up again is with a front 3, a midfield 3 with 2 higher players and 1 holder, and then again our back 4 won't be too relevant, but we'll speak about just some of the positions they could take up maybe on the opposite side from crosses and their covering positions as well. So I suppose what's really important before we talk about any crosses is that we have our back 4 in good, comfortable covering positions. So for me, I would say the 2 centre backs have to be close and occupying the centre forward, and then after that it's totally dependent on how high their wingers stay. So maybe this left winger is staying high, he's been told to cheat in the game, maybe stay high and try help his team out on the counter attack. So if that was the case, I would have my opposite, I would have my near side fullback staying with him. Whereas the opposite winger might be told he has to come back in and help. If that was the case, I'd be saying we've got 1, 2, 3 covering 2, no problem, so he can go ahead. What's really important is as soon as the pass is played from the number 6, I'd also be asking him to probably stay and just help cover anything in front of the striker around this area here and here. So as he plays that pass, he's not necessarily going to go running after it, he's going to stay in this area here and try pick up seconds if the opposition were to try counter attack. The first cross we're going to look at then is a cross from deep. So how this would work, again I'm just putting it in very basic scenarios on how we're getting it wide and we're working from there. But the first thing we might do is quite simply have a winger drop into the space if he's getting marked tight. So fullback's marking him tight, he might double move just to pull out here. He's created himself a little passing lane, a simple passing lane from the number 6, and maybe the fullback hasn't followed because he feels from there he's not too much of a danger. So number 6 plays to our winger. By now you would assume the fullback will engage, so we're crossing from quite a deep area. First thing we're looking for really is a good quality first touch out of the feet, and then from there we're looking to put a lot of whip and curl on the ball, and we're looking to put it quite deep in the box. From there I'd be saying first it's the 2 centre backs. What we want our striker to do is start away so that he has a run on them and he's looking to get across the right side centre defender face so that he can be seen, but off the blind side of the left side defender or centre back. By doing this, I feel he has a great chance of maybe winning the ball before the opposite centre back if it gets over this centre back's head. So he's looking to make these runs, and again some important detail is can he make that between the central area and the front post, because by doing that he's creating space around here too. That'll be the first run, which creates room for a second run, which I feel should be from our opposite number 10. This player again is looking to be direct and quick, hopefully beating this number 6 from the opposition into the box, and what he's looking to do is fill that space that the striker's just created. So if he's attacking front post and he's pulled this defender with him and got in behind their left side centre back, there's now lots of space to run into, and his aim is to try go central to back post is what I'd say, so anywhere around this area, arriving on time with the delivery. And then the last race we're looking at is from our opposite winger, who's going to look to aim, I would say, between corner of the 6-yard box and back post with his run. And again he can take him on for pace going across the fullback's face, or if he's really quick or maybe wasn't positioned too well to start with, he might have to make that race from behind his back. I'd be recommending across the face, because then it means if it was to be a close race, at least he's in front of this fullback. So they're the 3 runs in the box, and then the only other player I'd be really saying needs to help out now is our near side number 10. he'll fill that gap between these two players and hopefully pick up any seconds that maybe drop here. And then again, I talked about how our opposite fullback could affect the game. If the ball's crossed in and comes out, he just has to be on the front foot, that if anything falls here, he might be able to follow up. So like I said, deep, long whip, you're looking for this kind of area here where maybe our striker might win it to head it, or if he hits it a little bit deeper, again, we've got our number 10 or our opposite winger in great positions to go in. And like I said, if it was a case that the opposition were to head clear, we have a player on the edge of the box to pick up if it's central, or if they've cleared left, our opposite fullback is ready to step back in and play another cross that we might be able to attack again. After that, like I said at the very start, we've got covering players that if the opposition were to header it clear and maybe win it, we can narrow in really quickly, we can get pressure from behind the ball, and at the minute I don't think we have any immediate threat. We can get pressure on the ball if it's played short, and if it's played in behind, we have enough numbers to go follow and maybe just restart the attack setup again. Cross number 2 that we're going to look at now is getting our winger slightly higher, and it's probably convenient we have this white line here. I'd be saying it's properly in the final third. So our first one, we probably have to peel a little bit out of the final third to receive it in space to put in that whip from deep, whereas now maybe the fullback just is tired, he's dropped off a little bit. Our winger can now pull away and look to receive a good quality pass in a position where he's maybe the guts of 20-25 yards out, so he's not too far from the 18. From here we're getting a lot of the same runs, but the difference now is we've got probably a lot quicker pressure from the fullback, so we might have to do a trick to beat him. And what's really important now is it's not as high or lofted, and it's not as whipped as the last one. It's now a real case of can we get a lot of pace and power on this cross, because what we want to do is beat this player and we want to beat the first man. There'll still be a little bit of whip on the cross, but what we're trying to do is getting it in what some people call the corridor of uncertainty. You're looking to get it between the goalkeeper and the centre backs, because if we can manage to do that, we've created a scenario where an own goal might be an option if defenders are struggling to get there. The goalkeeper might be stuck to his line, he doesn't know whether to stay or go, and we have very similar runs that if they've defended well, we can still go attack the ball and just try beat them man for man to the cross. So ball comes out, like I said, just a little shimmy. It doesn't have to be anything special in terms of a trick. It just needs to be that we create half a yard of space to get it out of our feet and get across the box. Our striker again is looking to make that sprint across his face and on his blind side towards the front post, so that hopefully we can beat him into that corridor. By doing so, our opposite 10 needs to really quickly make that run from deep to receive anything central to back, and then again we've got a foot race at the back post between our winger and the opposite fullback. We're looking to whip it across this area here and hopefully win it first time round, if not definitely seconds, or potentially a shot from our striker could be rebounded and we have 2 players ready to pounce. And the other player who hasn't been mentioned yet is our number 10, who again now is trying to just wiggle his way into this space here between these two, where if anything was cleared, maybe from a goalkeeper's punch, or if these two were to go win it and clear, we've got someone ready to hit first time, or maybe touch and hit and put it back into the goal. So the third scenario we're going to look at involves 2 different types of crosses, but they both come from the same area, which is beyond the 18-yard box, in behind, nearly in line with the 6 or maybe the touchline. So we're talking about really deep into the opposition's final third, but maybe out of room to do any more tricks. We're looking to get crosses into the box. So again, this may happen from either a through ball where we've gotten in behind, so maybe fullback plays in to our 10 and we find space in behind the opposition's fullback. Not necessarily as easily as that, but what we're looking to do is get in behind him, or it could just come from really good winger or wide play, where maybe we've played it to the wide player, he's taken on this fullback and he's just gotten himself into this area here. From there then, it's really important, like I said, we have 2 different types of crosses. The first one I'll speak about is a lobbed cross to the back post. So this one again comes down to whether these players are willing to win their foot race into the box, number 1, and whether they're willing to then go and header the ball or put their body on line to get there, because there won't be too much pace on the ball. They really have to make sure that they arrive on time and that they arrive with the aggression required to go score a goal. So our winger will be looking to lob it in and around this area, and what will happen is hopefully our striker will again just target that central area, looking to pick up seconds and occupy the centre backs. Our opposite winger is probably the main player here. He's going to look to win his foot race against the opposite fullback and hopefully win a header where he can either direct it towards goal if he has enough pace on it, or back across to the striker. And then again, what's really important is, can these number 10s get themselves to the edge of the box, or maybe in the box as quick as they can, penalty spot where, like I said, if it comes to the winger, he might be able to header back in towards the penalty area so we can get shots away, or he can header back across goal where striker might pick up, or like I said, if there is enough on the cross, maybe a volley or a header directly into the goal. From there then, I'll move straight into the other type of cross we can do from here. So we've got our lofted cross if we feel as though it's quite tight, but we have numbers where it's just a case of lots of 1v1s in the box. But if we have a scenario now where our striker makes a really good run in between the two centre backs and he's moved them, and our opposite winger, would start a little bit deeper, but he makes that run and beats his man, we've now created this space. So what's key information now is, in the first instance we had two players that were willing to follow our number 10s and get in there, which is why we opted to lob it in to the box. But if it was a case where our number 10s made our darting runs in behind off blind side, and these two were lazy or maybe tired and didn't make the runs back in behind, what our striker's done is moved the two centre backs closer to the goal. Our opposite wingers moved their opposite full back towards the goal, and what we've created is loads of space now behind them all around the penalty spot. So again, if these two are slow to follow, or if these look like they're first to get there, our winger can really now play a low, nearly a pass but at a pace, pull back is what I would call it, towards the penalty spot, where hopefully maybe our opposite 10 will arrive on and hit with his right, or if our near side 10 is really alert, he might get it in this position where he could open his body and play it off his left. And again, there are just a few scenarios that we looked at today in terms of crossing. What I'll always say is that it looks like there's loads of options, and obviously there's loads of ways that you can get into these positions, but in terms of when we are in positions of danger like so, some of the important things are getting numbers in the box, wingers being direct, and then after that they'd be the four things I'd be coaching: how we can create opportunities based on the deep cross, based on around the 18, and then if we were to get in behind towards the touchline, the four different types of crosses we can use, and how effective they can be.